So I watched a movie that I kind of regret watching, but I don't know, one of those ones where I don't generally just stop watching if I actually rarely get bored, but somehow I did now. Um, just sometimes it just happens. I still do not give up though, and it's one of those things. Of course, not giving up meant that the last half hour, just the last half hour. So about one fourth of the entire movie turned out to be semi-interesting, but well, the majority of the movie was just an absolute drag. It's a Tamil Nadu movie called, let me try saying this, Thirupathisamy Kudumbam, right? Whatever it means. Um, and I get what they were trying to do at the end there, but most of it was so boring. I mean, yeah, it was supposed to be comedy, but it pretty much only had comedy in the last half hour and some sort of interesting stuff. Because what the hell was most of it though? Like, just someone randomly throwing a helmet and somehow just completely destroying someone's face. I mean, what the hell is that nonsense? I mean, and that you know, I know it wasn't supposed to be just comedy, had other genres along with it, but I mean that is absolute nonsense. And then the mob was supposed to have uh, mobbed the person who threw the helmet, and the only thing there was these sound effects and nothing else. What kind of nonsense is that? As if it's not visible. It was just sound effects and not really anything that matches them. Throughout this thing, actually, throughout the entire movie, there was such a thing actually. Just sound effects. I mean, is it supposed to be? I mean, this can't be highly regarded, can it? I mean, it seems like such a cheap, incredibly seemingly cheap movie. I mean, I'd be very surprised if it's highly regarded. As I say, it was so strange. Apparently, just it just came out just recently. But really, well, of course, this is the thing. I mean, it's I don't tend to either read synopses or check the. I don't because I've seen a lot of movies where people seemingly highly regarded them, highly rated them on average, and they were turned out to be nonsense. This happens though. No, I mean this is just not really well known anyway. It was only rated by 7 people, an average of 4.6. So I mean, sure enough, I'd actually rate it even lower. But yeah, 7 people isn't much anyway. But I don't know what that was. Maybe for now I should stick with. Well, that's the thing. I mean, the last time I watched somewhere from, I think Tamil Nadu was Bollywood as well. I'm not sure though. Yeah, the last one I watched was highly rated and highly regarded, and I did like it as well. That's the one about this dyslexia, the dyslexic child. So it's one of those cases where people do, but I don't trust ratings. I'm not going to just watch only. At any rate, I mean, this is only just came out and it's really seen by many people. But even where it was seen here, like Times of India, apparently it was rated by still 27 votes, so not exactly a lot, but they rated it 3.6 out of 5. So that's not exactly low there. Certainly not rated 3.6. If there's only there'd be like 7 or 8 over 10, no? So ridiculous. Yeah. Um, One of those things. I don't know what the hell it was. It dragged on forever, and there was a big problem with subtitling as well. I don't know what they did there. I'm not sure if subtitles were just not really well timed. I mean, some of them just weren't. I'm pretty sure they weren't. They just appeared for like 2 milliseconds and disappeared immediately. But most were so fast. It's ridiculous. I've never ever pressed the back button so much for something more boring than this. I mean, I sometimes do press the back button for the left button that is. Just when I happen to miss, usually due to not because necessarily it's flashed only for a couple of milliseconds. Usually they're sufficient amount of time. But this was terrible. They all just really just went by really fast, and everything that was said was such nonsense. I don't know, mostly at least it was. It was just, and honestly, all of this induced a headache in me. Just it was so bizarre, and not bizarre in a good way at all. It's not random in a sort of funny one of those. It's just I don't know what was I mean the translation wasn't exactly stellar either. It wasn't too bad either. The the thing that wasn't really that interesting. That's pretty much it. And sure enough, it began being interesting for the last half hour. But if a movie is interesting for the last half hour, it's useless. Should have begun being interesting at the beginning. What's the point of the great we have a fight over some girl? Yeah, was that really necessary? Maybe it would have been better if they just focused on this thing with this scrap car and such. Maybe even if I mean, I know Indian films tend to be really long, but this really could have just shaved off an hour easily. I don't get why. You know, um, I just don't know why they dragged on for so long. And I mean, the so-called drama was so bad. I thought that I don't often do this. I mean, when I watch some supposedly action movie, in inverted commas, they do have some sort of. I mean, the drama isn't usually the most interesting thing ever either, like Jackie Chan movies or such. But in this one, it was so uninteresting, and they talked so fast, and everything they said seemingly was so inconsequential. Every time there was some sort of car chase or even a fight, I think I liked it more. That doesn't normally happen. I don't really care for, but I like the supposed drama so much less in a sense. This didn't make any sense, until that last half hour, as I say, you know, that was sort of interesting. And what they did is still very improbable, but for a movie, whatever, yeah. Obviously, not like how they would have gotten caught if that happened for real. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's just trying to highlight the corruption of police and politicians. That's reality everywhere. But I don't know why they bothered with everything that happened before then. It really shouldn't have been there. It was such a drag, as I say. It's just kept on going and going and nothing, and and then they have financial problems, and then somehow, just after this suddenly, the period when their mother was crying because he lost a job, and then suddenly they get enough money to buy a car, and then somehow they go on this seemingly I don't know what that was. How did they go from crying to oh everything is fine, lovely, oh this is so heavenly? Like what? People must be bipolar or something. Um, yeah, and I don't know, just it really wasn't. I mean, I enjoyed the one the movie about the Slasker, way more. But I mean, it's something else. Maybe I should stick with the Americana. I don't know. I try to watch movies that whose actors I have no idea about, but so far, anyway, it's not about actors, but it's one of those things. I mean, this film was boring. Honestly, it just was.